Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Alinga Sise of Herbal Harvest Organic Farm. For all of you who have subscribed to my YouTube channel, I am so grateful, and for those who are still new, please kindly consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. Today I'm super excited. First of all, yesterday my birthday went on well. Thank you so much for all the birthday wishes. May God bless you wherever you are. And guys, the birds have really grown. We are now soon making it to 14 weeks. And the way I'm seeing, they are now not shedding off feathers so much, because it is now two or 3 days that I did not collect the feathers. But you can see the feathers that are there are looking old. So that means our birds are now stopping on shedding their feathers, because I think they are now, let me first switch off this light. I think now they have grown their mature feathers that they will stay with. So I can see the feathers that are there are now old feathers. Just like I told you that it is now 2 days. I think coming to 3 days when we've not collected the feathers. But then the birds are not yet finishing all the feeds well. I think still because of their beaks. You can see we find feeds left like this. Okay, they are all feeding well. We put the feeds, they are feeding well. But finishing all the feeds is a problem. I think when it reaches this stage, when they are pecking on, it is still hurting their beaks, okay? So, it's an early morning, so we are supposed to feed these birds. But then, my herbs are done. So currently, I've given them plain water, you can see. There is nothing in the water. I'm going to purchase more herbs today, and then they will start on herbs tomorrow. But we are again starting on different herbs. So but the birds are doing well so far. No bird is showing any sign of sickness, but this is all because of our herbal remedies. So as our daily routine here, we are going to feed the birds. And guys, let me tell you, these windows that I have made, it is really helping me a lot. You guys, you saw yesterday when we were feeding the old birds, it is really very hard to enter inside the chicken house when you're going to give them feeds. You find them piled at the door. But in this case, I'm so happy, because we first pour the feeds from outside. So by the time someone is coming inside, the door is already not congested, so you can easily get inside and feed the birds. So let us first feed our birds. And you can see all the birds are very actively running towards the feeds. Wow. Guys, another challenge that I am seeing with giving them feeds through those windows is that sometimes if you're not careful, you can end up pouring feeds down, and that will lead to feed wastage. That's why I'm telling you that most time when they're feeding your birds, endeavor to be there as the owner of the farm, because sometimes your workers may not even care about the feeds that is going down. To them, they don't feel the pain of those feeds pouring down. And yet, when the feeds pour down, it is you and the birds that are losing. Because now we measure the feeds on a daily. So that means if others go down, the birds have missed eating that portion. So that is some of the challenges that I'm facing with putting the feeds through those windows. And that problem can be solved by now, like for me, I use those small 3-liter jerry cans. I just cut them for pouring my feed. So you can make sure that you scoop the feeds, that you don't leave it hanging. You just scoop it and you make sure it is inside well before you push it inside to pour inside those feeders. That's the only way that you can manage if it's not pouring down. But if you just scoop it recklessly and you leave it hanging, it will by the time you push your hand through the window to pour it inside the feeders, the birds can easily jump. You know, these birds are very stubborn. They can easily jump to, you know, to peck on the feeds, and you end up pouring the feeds down. But otherwise, this is a very good innovation for those who are in a deep litter system and you've constructed your house like this. Make sure that you leave space for those windows, so that when you're putting for them feeds, you can first put through the windows to decongest the door. Because in most cases, when birds are piled there, you can end up breaking your birds, and that is not what we want. Wow, guys, our birds are really so active now. So yesterday I gave them plain water. Today they are also on plain water. And we are going to start on herbs again tomorrow. So you can give your birds herbs like that. You can give them herbs, then you leave them to rest like for 2 days, then you resume back. That is how I normally do it. So consistency on these herbs is very important. That is why you can see we have raised these birds without giving them any antibiotics, any multivitamin, only the herbal remedies. So that is why I'm still encouraging all of you guys, let us embrace the use of these herbal remedies in our poultry farms. Because you can see how my birds are healthy, my birds have grown without any disease outbreak, all because of these herbal remedies, giving them enough feeds, the right amount of feeds, and giving them enough drinking water at all times. Last time I told you, for me, you will not come inside the farm and find a drinker empty. That one will not happen. When a drinker is empty and you're not going to add the drinking water, kindly remove that drinker out. That's actually what I always encourage my girl. If the drinker is empty and you're not adding them the drinking water immediately, remove the drinker out, so that the birds don't keep coming there and find there is no water. At least let them move to the next drinker, because these birds are funny. When, let's say, this drinker is empty and those ones that are used to drinking from here, they'll keep coming there, find the drinker empty, they keep coming there. But if you're not going to add the water, just remove out the drinker. At least they will see another drinker and they'll move and get the water from the next drinker. So our birds are now actively feeding. These ones are here sleeping. You know, these birds are also very funny. Now, like we haven't yet put feeds in all the feeders. Those ones that have not got where to feed, they can just come and, I think they give up. So they also give up. And then sometimes as the farmer, especially at this time when they are still in the recovery stage, because I still say they are in a recovery stage, because the fact that they can't finish all the feeds from the feeder, you can see, it means that they are still on a recovery stage. Much as their appetite is okay, they are active, they are feeding well, but they are still on a recovery stage. So you, as the owner of the farm, you should come and, you know, you push them to go and feed. I remember when they were still sick due to that DB thing, I used to come in the farm, see those ones that are just lying down, I just get them by force, give them the drinking water, because the drinking water had herbs, okay? I give them the drinking water forcefully, then I leave them. Immediately you see them running to feed. So as the owner of the farm, those are some of the few tips that you can apply in your farm to make sure that your birds feed. Because now Sometimes you find other birds just relax. They have given up in feeding because maybe the feeders are still full. You just come and pick your bird and you boost on it, like you encourage it to go and feed. Winnie, where? Omi you kilo spiera bish win. Guys, I can't believe the birds have now grown like this. You guys remember the first day we brought these birds? I just can't believe the birds have now grown and we are on a countdown. Wow. Guys, we are soon making it to 14 weeks. Only 1 or 2 days away to 14 weeks. But just know the baking destabilized them a bit, honestly, because birds not feeding well for like 4 days was not good at all. It was not good at all, but there is nothing we can do because at the end of the day, we have to debake these birds, honestly. Even those who are in cages, I see they still do debake their birds. Birds not feeding for 4 days, honestly, it is really not good. Because after debaking for 4 days, the birds were so dormant, they were not feeding well. But after that, they resumed back, but still, that was already a very big gap, very big gap. But now I can see the birds are very active, very lively, which is very good, but all because of the herbal remedies that we are giving. Biosecurity is very important. Every 5 days, you have to change the water and put another disinfectant in front of the chicken house, please. And please do not entertain so many visitors in your farm, especially if the birds are still young like this and if they have just started laying eggs, okay? But for the old birds, now like those ones that have already laid for 84 weeks, that one is now okay. First of all, you have already gotten all your profits back, all the capital, and they're already so disease resistant. That one you can allow visitors to come check on them. But these ones that are still young, oh my God, they are still so prone to these poultry diseases. So it is not good to keep on allowing so many visitors to come and visit the farm, to enter the chicken house. I told you for us here, only me and my girl who enters here. It is very rare for my other family members to come inside this chicken house. Sometimes if they want to see the birds, especially the children, you guys, children, I let them see through the windows, Guys, you can also follow me on TikTok. We're always there live. You can follow me there and support me during the live stream. You can also follow me on Facebook. Wow. Guys, poultry farming is so amazing, especially if you do the right thing and you follow the guidelines that Alinga is giving you. Because here I give all the information, all the information, and at least I make sure that I do not miss bringing you updates on a daily. If not for this, if not about these birds, I bring you about the old birds. Now, like the old birds, yesterday I told you that I may sell them during Christmas, but still I want these birds to start laying eggs before I sell off those birds, because first of all their eggs are now big, so it will help blend with these eggs, because when birds start laying eggs, honestly they start with very tiny eggs, so sometimes customers will not understand that. Okay, they will not understand that it's not us, the owners of the farm, who are laying the eggs. It is the birds, and they normally start with tiny eggs. So to blend on that, if you're lucky enough and you have other birds that are still producing, it is better you will use those eggs to blend with these tiny eggs, but of which it is not the case with most farmers, especially with small farmers. By the time the new flock is starting to lay, normally finds when we have sold off the older birds, simply because sometimes we want capital for feeding the new flock, or maybe the old birds are no longer performing well. But this time I was lucky enough, I have the old stock still, then I also have the new stock that is now soon laying eggs, because 14 weeks, that means we are now going to count only 4 weeks. When you be careful, really be careful, so that means we are now counting 4 weeks to these birds to start laying eggs. So that is why those old birds, I'm really praying hard that they don't drop to maybe 5 trays. They keep around 64% egg production, so that these ones also start laying eggs. Then they will now be free. I'll lay them off and we shall say bye-bye to them. So guys, today I really wanted you to see that in this new week, the birds are really now doing super well, super well, and I'm so grateful for that. But all because of the herbal remedies. Anyway, Ramkilo Piera B. Nani kara paradi? Parade. Mani kara di? A pario. Pede made extra chelchable. Oh. Wow. So guys, last time I told you that we are likely to add more feeders, because you can see the feeders that we have put. They are 42 in numbers, but they seem not to be enough. So we are likely to add more feeders, and also the drinkers. I haven't yet sorted that issue of adding more drinkers, but we are now going to add more drinkers, because 14 weeks now the birds are mature. We are now preparing for eggs, and this week I'm going to contact the person that normally helps me here. If he's not busy, we are going to start on making our laying boxes. But I think, anyway, I don't know, but I think we shall still make the ordinary laying boxes, not the other one that I was telling you last time about, the ones that the birds can lay in this section and you open the other side, you collect the eggs from there. That is what I would love to have. But guys, feeding these birds is also not easy. Remember, these ones the numbers are bigger compared to the ones that we had, and at least we have come this far up to 14 weeks without any complaint about money for feeding the birds and maintaining the birds. So I will be forced to give the ordinary, to put the ordinary boxes. Okay, I will be forced to put the ordinary boxes, but at least our 400 birds. Okay, we cannot say 400 birds, because I can say our 300 birds, because they stayed for long at 300. 300 birds have really helped us a lot to maintain these birds. So for today, that is all I had for you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for always coming back. Thank you so much for all your wonderful love and support. Thank you so much for all the birthday wishes. But if you're still new, please kindly consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. Click on the notification bell so that you never miss out any upload. Share this video, comment in the comment section down below, and I'll be so grateful. See you next time. I love you all. Have a blessed new week. Bye bye.